Shalom. Give me one moment here. All right. We'll go ahead and get started. So first and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father. His true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh, and his son's name, who the world inwardly called Jesus Christ, real name in the Hebrew is Yahushua. Also give a praise, honor, glory unto the Rakakwadash, the Holy Spirit, which is the force and entity that makes this edification possible. I want to say shalom to all you sincere-hearted Akim wa Akwa, that's you brothers and sisters that make your bodies a living sacrifice on a daily basis in this wicked and adulterous generation. Also want to give double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who tells us truth and who rule well. And as you can see, we're going to be touching into, just briefly, Sri Lanka economy totally collapsed, a foreshadow of what's to come here, and it's an article I had ran across, yesterday, and it caught my eye. It made me think about what just went down maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago, over there in Davos, where you had the heads, of these so-called elite men, the higher ups, the representatives, the prime ministers of all these foreign countries. And what they were discussing is pretty much, ways to usher in, Esau Edom's NWO, if you will, right? This great R to the E to the S to the E to the T, right? And this has Esau's red fingerprints all over it, right? Now, Sri Lanka was already, they were already a poor country. Why? Because as Esau does, he goes in these foreign lands and he just sucks them bone dry, depletes them of their own resources, uses them for slave labor, he oppresses them, as it speaks about in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, how he heapeth unto himself all nations, man. And he is as death and is as hell. All right. But pretty much, man, this did not happen by coincidence. Now, a week or two after that meeting, Sri Lanka's economy has completely collapsed, Prime Minister says. And so what do you think that's going to do? That's going to help usher in, that NWO. See, Esau always uses these smaller nations, first as like guinea pigs, as trial runs, to pretty much, see what he needs to hone in on more before he brings, that bullshit over here. And it's coming here, man. For you simple as Americans that's not thinking that it's coming. It's coming here, and this is why we doing this article, is because we don't give a damn about Sri Lanka, right? But we, we discern, the signs of the times, and we discern what's happening upon planet Earth is being watchmen, right? And report it back so we can take heed, because it's surely going to come here, man. But the mindset of these Americans is that it will never touch them. This is Isaiah 47 and verse 7. It says, and this is concerning the virgin daughter of Babylon, which is none other than America, these Edomites. And it says, and thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever. So that thou, and that's Esau's mindset, right? He really thinks that he's going to be, he's going to have his queendom forever, man. As if he's going to, what is that? Psalms 49:11. The inward thoughts that their houses shall continue forever, right? But these particular signs, and we know that Sri Lanka's economy collapsed, so pretty much, Esau can hit them with that master chess move, if you will, and enforce the MOTB. All right. That's why he totally stripped that country, man. So now they're totally prepared. Their citizens they're ready to do whatever it takes to get them out of that slum hole that they're in. So all Esau got to do now is come over there, with that charagma, that karax, right? And those people will gladly receive it, in order to get their jobs back, any type of normacy back, And what makes you think that you're immune to that here? It's coming here. This place is going to get hit the hardest. And we see the infrastructure that already paving way here, man. So it says, and thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart. Neither didst thou remember the latter end of it. And what's the latter end of Esau, man? He's going to be totally destroyed. And he's not remembering that. He's got a heart. The Lord put a hard mindset up on this man, so he can go ahead and do what he needs to do, right? Continue to be a hammer of the earth, right? And continue to forward the oppression of the Israelites, so Yahweh Shema Shah will be justified in taking this man down. Verse 8, it says, therefore, hear now this, thou that are given to pleasures, right? And who's that's given to pleasures? Especially, mainly these Americans, man. These Babylonians, Revelation the 18th chapter, they that did eat deliciously, man. Therefore, hear now this, thou that are given to pleasures, because you're gonna have people they looking at this same article I'm looking at, all right, but they gonna continue to eat their chicken wings as if they gonna eat them forever, go to the club. Oh yeah, man, y'all heard about what happened in Sri Lanka? They're gonna continue to live pleasurably, to live deliciously, but they're not laying up in their mind what their latter end is going to be. All the while, you got diesel shortages, death fluid shortages, which is diesel exhaust fluid, right? Which you're going to need that in order to run any type of diesel, vehicle, and run a little course on. Well, the gasoline prices are spiking higher and higher every day, and these are all things that happened in Sri Lanka, right? They had diesel shortages, they had food shortages, and then their food spiked exponentially, in its rates. And America's on the same path, right? So 2 + 2 = 4, man. Never has 2 + 2 equals 5, So it says, therefore, hear now this, thou that are given to pleasures, that did dwells carelessly, that sayest in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. And that's what the Most High says, man. I am, and there's none else beside me. And that's Esau's mindset right now. He's moving throughout planet Earth as if he's that man. He's that guy. As 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, tells us about. It says, I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. Verse 9, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. Yeah, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquities of their forefathers, man. See, and this is going to happen in like a thief in the night, man. It says they shall, and we're gonna go into that article. I just wanted to bring this out real quick. It says they shall come upon thee in their perfection, concerning the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments, man. And this is a part of this nigga's wine that he has spread forth throughout planet Earth and conquered these particular nations, man, including Sri Lanka, as we're looking at right here. So going into this article, this is off of MSN.com. Sri Lanka's economy has completely collapsed. It says collapse, a serious situation, and potentially a fall to rock bottom. Those are some of the ways Sri Lanka's prime minister described his country's faltering economy Wednesday, as the island nation faces extreme food and fuel shortages. Come on, man. Now, what's happening over here in America? The same things. Food shortages and fuel shortages. And they're not shying away from telling you. Sleepy Joe himself told you, man, that the world, there's food shortages. See? So it's happening over there, and it's going to happen over here. Why? These things are manufactured, by man to roll out the MOTB system, man. So all nations will bow down, and pay homage unto the image of the beast and unto his number and to his name, and get that mark. That's what this whole thing is all set up for, man. It says the comments to Parliament from Prime Minister Ranil. I don't know that last name, man. I ain't even going to try. It says, come after weeks of turmoil caused by government incompetence. See, and what's happening over here in America? Government Incompetence, man, meaning these leaders don't know what the hell they doing. Joe Biden, he falling off of bikes, stumbling over his words, turning backwards on stage, forgot to put his mask on, then took it back off just to talk to everybody, coughing and shit. Government incompetence, man. Says experts say. A dynamic exacerbated by global inflation and supply chain disarray. And what's happening over here in America? Those boats over there at the port of Los Angeles, they still sitting over there. See, people forgot about that. That happened, like last summer, I believe, last fall. But people just stopped talking about it because there's been so much going on. But the supply chain crunch is still over here. Those boats still sitting over there, man. A lot of those shipping containers been getting broken into by vandalers. People taking shit out, taking shit out of the out of those containers. So it's just all out hell, man. It says a dynamic exacerbated by global inflation and supply chain disarray amid the Russian invasion of Ukraine and the lingering impacts of the of that thing. You can see it right there, that thing. I'm never going to say that word. So it says Sri Lanka shuts down. Families struggle for food as crisis deepens. We are now facing a far more serious situation beyond the mere shortages of fuel, gas, electricity, and food. And these are all the same things that your leaders over here in America are telling you to prepare for. Fuel, gas, electricity, and food shortages. It says our economy has faced a complete collapse. And this is all by design, man. And this is what, our leaders been telling us, what they were planning to do. And this is what we've been telling you what they've been planning to do, man. See? And now I found this off of this page here, the WEF page, right? You can see it in the top, at the very top. I don't want to say that word or that phrase, because they're censoring a lot, man. But off the WEF page, man, it says why Sri Lanka is facing one of its worst economic crises. And you got to ask yourself. So, we know that they had that meeting, a couple of weeks ago. All right. And we know that some of the leaders of Sri Lanka was there. So after they left that meeting, they had pretty much what do you call it? Instructions on what to do, after that meeting, man. And what they were instructed to do is pretty much bleed out their economy. Why? So Esau can go in with the solution, right? Let me grab this real quick. Where's that at? Sirach 21. Now let me get this. It's Proverbs 22 and verse 7. It says the rich ruleth over the poor. See, the rich ruleth over the poor. And Esau rules over all these little poor countries. He just, just exploits them, makes merchandise of them. Of course, us, the Israelites, so-called Black, Hispanic, Native Americans. But, we're talking about, these heathen countries, man. That actually have, some type of legitimacy, if you will. Right. But Esau, being the rich, ruleth over the poor. And when you rule over somebody, you turn them however the hell you want them to go. So Sri Lanka doesn't have a stake in the matter, man. They were there at the WEF not to give instructions, but to be instructed on what to do, right? And once they pretty much commit suicide on their own economy, right, then you accept this man's system. You accept this man's ultimately that charagma. That's what it's all leading down to, man. Right? When Revelation, let me grab that. When Revelation 13:16 says this, it says, and he calls it all, see, all nations, all people. See, he calls it all, both small and great, right? Small countries and great countries, rich and poor, right? Free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that hath the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And those people they're in a desperate crunch right now, man. They just want to buy and sell, basic necessities of life. They just want rice. They want bread, right? They can't afford it. Their economy has gone to shit, right? So now Esau's going to come over there with the rich being over the poor, ruleth over the poor. And it says what? And the borrower is servant unto the lender. So if you're serving somebody, that means that you do what they want you to do. So that's one country off the checklist for Esau. Sri Lanka has just been officially checked off, ready to go to for all their citizens to get that MOTB. See, because over here in America, you still have some resistance because people can still eat. People can still go out to Papados and shit, But that's coming here. America's about to suffer total, complete, economic shutdown, collapse, right? And then these people in America will be in the same situation that Sri Lanka's in. They just want to buy just food. They hungry. They ain't worked. They see their little ones suffering. All right, and so they're gonna bend the knee, to this man, whatever it takes for them to just have some type of normalcy back. So, once again, like I said, this is off of WEF, .org, Agenda 2022, man. See up here, it says Agenda 2022. This is their agenda, their councils, right? Guess we could read a little bit of this. It says, for the first time since its independence, Sri Lanka has defaulted on its foreign debts, is now in the midst of one of the worst economic crises ever seen. And they all, of course, let me grab this real quick in the book of Sirach 21. This is Sirach 21 and verse 8. He that buildeth his house with other men's money is like one that gathereth himself stones for the tomb of his burial. Let's read that again. He that buildeth his house with other men's money, right? And that's what especially Edomites have done, right? And that's what all these nations have done, man. They committed fornication with the great whore, right? And Esau, the way how Esau got all of his substance is by rape, rob, and murder off of the backs of free labor, off of us Israelites, so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. And these people that have clasped hands with this man, been in bed with this man, they've gathered stones for the tomb of their burial as well. All right, let's read that again. That's heavy. He that buildeth his house with other men's money, what you call that? The house of Edom, right? Sri Lanka, right? It says that they defaulted on their debts, right? They can't pay them, man. So you just gathered into yourself stones for the tomb of your burial, right? And as we got, it says that the servant, you're serving unto the one who's lent unto you. Where was I at? It's a locket. You're going back. It says the population faces long power cuts, high prices, and scarcity of essential items like food and medicines. But how did it happen? A professor of economics explains. See, and y'all can read the rest of that for yourself. I'm gonna get a couple of scriptures in and on out. This is where's that at? That's pretty much it. I guess I'll get this. Habakkuk 2 and 5. It says, yea, also because he transgresses by wine. And what's that wine that Esau transgresses by? His democracy, right? His ideologies. This pretty much this whole Edomite way, this Roman way of life. That wine. And he literally thinks, man, that he's about to, well, let's keep reading. It's about to tell you. It says, yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. And once again, this guy Esau's hands all over it. Right? It says, who enlarges his desire as hell. And scriptures tell you in Proverbs that hell is never satisfied. There's always more room in the grave, in the ground. And that's how Esau is, man. And he's licking his chops. The Lord already gave him the whole earth. Job 9:24, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked, but this man wants more. It says, and is as death and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. Now, after he gets all these, well, he already got all the nations. With him having all the nations and having all the people, right, as we just got in Revelation 13, 16 and 17, right, he's going to, let's read that again. He calls it all. See, all nations and all people, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. So this here, man, it's here. So I was going to bring that out, just briefly. Just show you Akim and Akwath what's going on. So prepare, because it's coming here. So with that, hope you Akim and Akwath were edified. Till next time, DTA Baba Ball, Kwame Sharala, Shalom.